Yo, better like it's the Croydon FC, the round table where the real heads be. Talking NFL, the game we adore. From the touchdowns to the legends and so much more. That fucking guy, he's got the stats on lock. Dropping knowledge on the field, watching every block. Back to back and bleeding green, cheering loud and proud. In the sea of cheese, as he's standing out the crowd. I can't hear with the looks and the smarts. Breaking down the plays and he does it with heart. Then the snout, solid like the line. His takes are heavy, his vision's divine. Week by week we break the game down. From every big play to every new crown. Offense, defense, we cover it all. From the springtime drafts to the winner's last call. It's not just a podcast, it's a fan's lifeline. Connecting every moment from the vines to the side.
Good morning, gentlemen. Week 10 of the NFL season is upon us. We have just made our way past the trade deadline. So your team is your team, right? It's all downhill from here. Season's coming to a head. Playoff teams are pushing. How are we doing, gentlemen?
We're here, yo.
And there it is. This is why I get up every Sunday. Anyway.
That's because you were waiting for the sweet release of death.
Anyway. So, Brian, you said you wanted to touch on something this before we started the show.
Disgusting.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Brian.
Off the rails already. So, obviously, the Cowboys last game, they actually played a Monday night game. And a couple days later, one of their own died in an apparent suicide. And he had scored a touchdown in that game off a block punt, if I remember right. But Cowboys defensive end Marshawn Nealon was found dead, and I guess apparently he was in a car doing something. Cops are trying to pull him over. He decided to go on a high-speed chase. Cops lost sight of him, and then a few hours later, they had found him with a self-inflicted gunshot wound. It looks like. I know in our little chat group we were discussing. This is probably going to be something that we discuss, possibly CTE related. Is that what was brought up, Mike?
I think we're going to see everything that involves, and unfortunately, this is the way it's going to be for a while now, till they get a better understanding of what CTE actually is and how they can diagnose this prior to death. But I think every time there's an altercation with NFL player or a college football player, or even sometimes you'll see it go back as far as high school players having behavioral issues or violent tendencies or whatnot, whatever, they're going to try to link it back to CTE to bring up more information about it. Whether this was CTE related, I do not know. I don't have a medical degree to say it has, but go ahead, Andy.
Well, just to say very simply that, we have absolutely no idea. We do not speculate that, confirm nor deny, nothing like that. We don't necessarily want any sort of negative thing. But very, very simply, I think there's a strong possibility that there was obviously some sort of like a issue before, whether it actually had to do with football related or not. There was just a slight removal from all the reality, and unfortunately, you see what the unfortunate results were. So,
I know one article said that his girlfriend had stated something about like mental health issues, and I know that's also kind of a prevalent thing in the league because what you're doing on a daily basis and having the pressures to put on to perform every week, and then to go out and try and live normal life. That's trying to handle both of those. It can be quite understandable why players do have, mental health issues. Now, granted, could this all been avoided if handled properly? Maybe. I mean, but obviously, you talk about the CT aspect as well. I mean, we've known of players in the past that have like one day they're just fine and normal, and then the next day they do something absolutely crazy. And obviously that's a kind of a fine line. And I think that's something I know the league has tried to step up its game to, especially in the CT department, but I think I think nowadays, I think mental health becomes even a bigger issue because we got to keep all the players in check. If something's up, they need help too, and it was just sad to read a 24-year-old, just fresh in the league is gone. And, obviously my condolences and, hopefully this is a reminder to everybody that, hey, if you need help, please get it. Please seek it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a rough way to start the show. Like you said, it's something we had to touch on, and at least talk about. A 24-year-old man losing his life for any reasons is a tragedy. Whether it's self-inflicted, whether it's mental health, it's a tragedy. He's got so much going forward in life that his family never got to see him take part in. That it's just a really tough situation. But our condolences to the gentleman, to his families, to his loved ones. Now we have the awkward transition into football, right? I mean, that's why we're here. We're here to talk NFL football. We're here to talk about one of the toughest divisions in the NFL right now, and that's the NFC North. You got two teams on the show right now with me as the Green Bay Packers and the Chicago Bears that surprisingly are pretty much at each other's throats. I mean, I wouldn't have predicted them into the season, but here we are. Are the Bears for real? Is Chicago really a team that's going to the mean here?
I think if they end up missing out on the playoffs, it really wouldn't be by much. And again, consider this: you have quite a few new players. You got a new coach, new offense, new everything, and so for them, of course, to be able to actually kind of sort of, and especially this particular coach who is very regimented, with a quarterback that is kind of used to doing his own thing. He kind of likes playing backyard type football where go to the Buick, turn left, that kind of thing. And with the idea of him being able to kind of sort of improvise on certain things. Cool, but in the NFL, it's going to be a little bit different. In the fact that you're one of the reasons why CT is kind of prevalent, bigger, faster, stronger. So you are not going to necessarily be duped by certain things. You might be able to get open once or twice, but that'll be about it. So if the Bears actually do not make the playoffs, it'll probably be by the skin of the teeth, so to speak.
Right on. Well, let's look at it this way before I get your take on this, Brian. Is that tie going to hurt or help Green Bay going into the end of the season?
I mean, listen. You see, this is like it's complicated. I think we touched on this before. I mean,
Sure.
the tie can only help you if you just continue to win, right? But if you lose and say you fall behind in the loss column to a team ahead of you, that's not good either. I mean, theoretically, look at the standings now. The Packers are technically in first place just because of that tie. Take that tie away, put an L on there. Packers are tied with what? Tied for
right?
Yeah. So, it's good to have in your pocket, but you also have to take care of business. And last week they did not take care of business. This team right now plays down to their competition, and LaFleur's taking the heat. Lots of calls into ESPN Milwaukee saying they want LaFleur gone. Even the personalities are saying LaFleur either needs to get his head out of his you-know-what, or the Packers need to move on.
That's a bit early. No, you don't think that's premature? You guys are a perennial playoff team every year.
Yes, understandable. However, this has also been LaFleur's. Historically, LaFleur makes poor choices and always plays down to teams that they theoretically should be winning. The two losses at home that they have been favored by 7 or more points and have lost were Matt LaFleur teams, and that's historical.
Nanook
played
of the
on.
North.
What's that?
Nanook of the North. Essentially, what you have is the Cowboys in Green Bay. This is serious. So if you actually have a team in the South there, and it's just like this, it's literally they're parallel because you have teams that are actually you can actually go in at 10-6, whatever the case is, 13-3, whatever, and still either miss the playoffs or get blanked out of the playoffs the very, very first round. And that's exactly what happens to Green Bay. They actually do usually fairly well during the season and then completely fall apart. So it's just like Dallas and Green Bay, and that very well maybe has something to do with the coaches and some of the things. But do you think that the players would have more of a thing with it? So, I mean, what are you going to do? Injuries, of course, is going to be a big thing. So if you have injuries to key players, your running back, your wide receiver, whatever the case is, who's your quarterback going to be able to actually throw to? And then if you have an offensive line that's actually beaten up and battered, it's going to be worse. And if you go into the playoffs, you have some of the better teams who are going to have pass rushes, who are going to have defensive line that can actually clog up that middle, which means that your quarterback's going to get beaten up even further. So,
Yeah,
how about Dallas? How about Dallas and Green Bay just swap coaches, see if there's any sort of difference?
Well, they had a poll. Where was it at? They actually had a poll somewhere where, what coach or rank the head coaches in the NFC North, and surprisingly, Matt LaFleur was last. And listen, I'll give credit where credit's due. Ben Johnson's doing a hell of a job in Chicago. I mean, it reflects on the statistics in terms, especially the offense. I mean, they are the number 4 offense in the league, guys.
Yeah.
I mean, and to think about that, you've got Kevin O'Connell up in Minnesota, who seems like he could take anybody, any quarterback, and make that team play well, and you don't hear bad crap about him because, hey, he just goes up and shows up at Detroit and beats them, right? Detroit Lions, Dan Campbell, hell of a coach. That guy, everybody says, oh, the Lions are going to fall off because they lost all the coordinators. What does he do? Well, he's basically in first place in the NFC North. Guy's a master motivator. I mean, Matt LaFleur literally showed last Sunday he plays down to his competition. He's not that great, guys. I am being honest as a Packer fan. Unless he gets his head out of his ass, coaches that team how it's supposed to be. You have all the talent in the world. You guys made a big ass trade for Micah Parsons. You said you are all in. Play like it.
I get it. But look, the Bucs got rid of Lovie Smith when Lovie Smith had taken them to the closest they came to the Super Bowl since they were in the Super Bowl with John Gruden. And that's not much, but he still had them winning games. And you just get rid of them so you don't lose your offensive coordinator. That's what you're looking like in Green Bay. You're just going to get rid of a coach that's winning, that's taking you to the playoffs. He's putting you in position. Granted, his team doesn't have the attitude or grit as the Detroit Lions does, and he doesn't have the up-and-coming head coach in Detroit or in Chicago like Ben Johnson, but he has not lost that team. That team still plays every Sunday, every Monday, every Thursday. They play well usually. Yes, they do play down to competition. Is that a coaching thing or is that a player thing? I mean, you're a professional athlete. At some point, you've got to take accountability for what you're putting on tape and what you're going on the field and displaying.
I mean, you're right. I mean, Jordan Love probably threw one of the worst interceptions I've ever seen in my life. And obviously that's got to stop. And I've said that's the problem with him. He sometimes can look so darn amazing, and then I scratch my head on why'd you throw the ball there, or dude, there was nobody there. Why are you taking the chance? No, I guess I'm just more frustrated because it just seems like every year we're playing a subpar team. And I'm not saying Carolina is that subpar. I mean, Carolina is on the rise. I mean, you have to admit that being an NFC South guy.
Oh, absolutely.
But to be a 13-point favorite at home, you should have just steamrolled those guys. And no, we decide, no, we're just gonna la 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 la. I mean, were they theoretically looking ahead to this matchup against Philadelphia tomorrow night?
So.
I
mean, you got to hope they were. You got to hope that they didn't stagnate and fall off. You got to hope they were looking to that game.
Right. I mean,
by your own definition, Carolina's not a bad team. So, did they play down to their competition, or did they come into real competition? I mean, Carolina's defense is formidable. Their offense is honestly gaining traction. They're number 2 in the NFC South. That everyone says is the worst division in the league. And you look at the league right now, and it's pretty damn bad being in the NFC South because you got the Saints that can't seem to beat themselves out of a wet paper bag, and the Falcons just can't get out of their own way. But Carolina's putting together good film. They're putting good efforts out there. They're in almost every game they're in. I don't see Green Bay playing down to them. I just think that they got beat by a team that was on the right day and had the right game plan.
I got 2 points to that. First off, Brian, what you had just said is it's la 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 la. That's how the song goes. Secondly, I think you're actually kind of onto something a little bit in the fact that they weren't necessarily playing down to their competition. Is the fact that you're actually facing competition. You're actually being able to actually expose some of the shortcomings that Green Bay has within their offense. And Caleb does the same thing as Jordan Love sometimes does. Is the fact that I'll use this analogy. So if you're playing baseball, you remember how, of course, American baseball's fantastic. We can't be beaten, this, that, the other. Then, of course, you go overseas to Japan and stuff like that, and they actually play a very different type of baseball, very strategic. You got a guy on first base who's just been walked, so now you bunt the ball to get him to second place, get him in scoring position for that opportunity. Okay, so with that being said, you also have to understand that the NFL is actually is a business, and you have to do certain strategic moves. So if by chance you happen to be scrambling because your offensive line is broken down, instead of actually trying to make a play to possibly get a turnover and then, of course, score points against you, you just throw it away. And unfortunately, Jordan Love does that at times, not always, but he does that at times. Caleb, of course, does that at times, to where you have to understand that this professional mentality is completely different than an amateur mentality. And the fact that, hey, if I scramble around, somebody's going to get open, I can make a big play. Cool, but there's a reason why some of these guys are literally they're playing in games just before the Super Bowl because they're that good. And so they're not going to be duped by you scrambling around, whatever the case is. In fact, they're going to know to be in the right position at any particular time. And so that being said, if by chance Green Bay only gets to a certain point, a certain level, I think it's because they've been exposed in those shortcomings in their offense. And again, same thing in Chicago, as a matter of fact. So,
well, there are games being played today. Why don't we dive into some of the action in the NFC North before we get to the good part of the show?
Oh, the end?
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys got going on?
Football games. If you want to do the Bears real quick, we got the Bears. You got the greater New York, New Jersey Jets coming into Soldier Field today. 1:00 game time for all you people in the Midwest. We did, in fact, we had a huge, massive, incredibly important trade. Just kidding. We actually ended up getting Joe Tyron Shoyinka. He's got a good motor. I just don't know if he necessarily had enough opportunities to actually make plays. So I think he's probably been in maybe 10 or 12 plays this year total so far with the Cleveland Browns. So if given that opportunity, maybe he actually can produce. Only unfortunately because Deo Odebingo, that gentleman right there, he actually tore his Achilles. So he's unfortunately going to be out for the season.
Yeah, Andy, JTS, he's a phenomenal athlete. He's got the ideal build for an edge rusher.
Sure. He just hasn't had that opportunity in Cleveland.
He just doesn't finish. I watched him for years in Tampa. He fast off the ball, He's got great bend, but he just doesn't finish the play. He's always a step late. He's always he just misses. I know that's not what you want to hear, but I wouldn't expect much from Joe Tryon-Shoyinka unless he's picked up something new in a bag of tricks since he left Tampa. Pure speed, great edge rush, great pass rusher, but just doesn't finish.
Well, just maybe that's exactly what the Bears were looking for in the fact, and granted, they could have actually gotten a few other quality players, but I don't know if they necessarily had the cap space and things like that. But if by chance you actually have him on the right, and you have, of course, Montez Sweat on the left, maybe that's exactly what they're looking for, somebody to actually flush that pocket in order to be able to provide that opportunity for Sweat or vice versa. But in order to be able to get any quarterback, with the old happy feet and stuff like that, I think that's really what you need is to actually get them to, get out of that pocket. And so, given that, and even though he might not necessarily make the play per se, he would have that opportunity to be able to actually flush that quarterback. So, that's right there is really kind of what you're hoping for the most part. But the injury update as far as like the Bears. It's fairly extensive for this particular game, and it's unfortunate because you have some big-time players on there. T.J. Edwards, he's got a hand and a handed hammy. He's actually out for the game. The only good thing about it is against the Giants, who, depending on the game that they play, with, of course, Scatabo out, Scatabo, the Campster, if by chance, you have that particular team that's just got a quarterback, Jackson Dart. And the Bears have an opportunity, even with T.J. Edwards. Josh Blackwell is out. He's got a concussion. Dominique Robinson, he's got an ankle injury. Walker, wide receiver, concussion. He's out. And Durham Smythe, he's got a calf, and he's questionable. So injury-wise, the Bears are actually kind of hurting pretty good, which is also kind of interesting because, like I said, depending on what Jets team comes in today.
You mean Giants?
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, same thing. Well, here's a question for you. Obviously, we mentioned something before the show, obviously where Mike and I are located. We're under a winter storm warning right now. Weather is getting rather crazy. Weather report for game time in Chicago. Mid-30s with a mix of snow and rain and steady 20 to 25 mile per hour winds gusting to 35. And I just looked at the odds on the game. The Bears are a 4.5-point favorite, and they have the over/under at 46.5. I ain't buying any of that.
No, you factor in the weather. You factor in the weather. Yeah, you're probably gonna have to cut that in half. Literally, you're gonna kick the ball.
I was gonna say, what is this gonna do now especially offensively for the Bears? I mean, they've been rolling with what they're doing. I mean, does this now become? Hey, we got to continue to run the ball great. I mean, is Caleb actually gonna start running the ball more just because of the conditions?
Thanks for asking. Want to know? Here we go. Bears keys to the victory. So establish the run and play the balance. Really, what you're looking at, depending on what the gust of wind is, because you remember, of course, back in the day, seeing when they're either kicking the ball or they're trying to actually punt or whatever the case is, how the ball basically goes straight up and then makes that 90-degree left or right. So you remember that one. Mm-hmm. So the Bears have that opportunity to be able to actually run the ball effectively, and they would have that opportunity against the Giants. It also kind of depends on how the offensive line is holding up, because I know a couple of those guys are a little bit banged up. Nothing that's going to keep them out of the game. However, they are a little bit banged up. Protect the young quarterback, clean up the line play, which is true. You had a few flags lately on the offensive line. I don't want to say anything that's going to be too out of the ordinary. However, the Bears have had a lot of penalties this year, so they need to be able to actually clean a lot of that stuff up. Get the rookie contributors involved. So if you see what happened last week, of course, the Bears, just with that offensive juggernaut that they are apparently, decided to wait until about a half a second left to win the ball game, with Loveland scoring that 57-58-yard touchdown. Bad tackling on the opposing defense.
This is atrocious.
Good for the Bears. But with Cole Kmet actually out with a concussion, or at least he had a concussion protocol, you're probably going to be looking more towards Loveland as opposed to Komet, which is also kind of interesting. Does that actually make Cole Komet an expendable commodity? Who knows?
Oof.
I
Maybe next year.
Well, I'll be perfectly honest with you. I don't know why they haven't been using the guy until Cole got hurt. I mean, Cole just seems like when he catches the ball, he just falls over. He doesn't do anything else with it.
He's like Nanook of the North. That would be Mike Williams with his yak or lack thereof.
Mike Evans, and it worked for Evans for how many years?
Oh, to catch the ball and drop?
Hey, that man's gonna catch that ball and drop right into the Canton Hall of Fame, brother.
Yeah, right. Down the street where the secondary players are.
Come on. Anyway.
So you, of course, number 4, win the turnover battle, which the Bears have actually done very, very well this year. You don't necessarily have the establishment of a new style of peanut punch, but you have had the Bears actually winning the turnover battle quite often, which is kind of groovy. Play complementary special teams and situational football. Now, the Bears have that opportunity to be able to actually increase their special teams play, which, of course, they've actually done very, very well again this year. Block punts, things of that nature. You've got a serious chance of the Bears, even with their injuries of this week, actually pulling out a victory, probably more than you would hope more than a touchdown, versus the greater New Jersey Jets Giants. So
yeah, with the Giants coming in, you really just got to worry about Jackson Dart, right? What else do they have?
Jackson Dart.
I mean, his injury was probably one of the worst we've seen in recent memory. Kind of made me think of Alex Smith, Chris Godwin, even when Chris had the ankle injury going in the end of last year. But that was pretty gruesome. But yeah, I mean, if Chicago can stay offensive, they should win this game.
Well, with Skedaboo's injury, that was actually a dislocated ankle, which, of course, similar to like a dislocated knee, that essentially means everything is toast. If by chance, you remember, of course, I don't know if it's just because of whatever the case was, but in high school or whatever, if you guys being incredibly old, if you remember like popping a kneecap or something like that, you just pop it right back and keep going. These days, unfortunately, when you're doing that, I don't know, again, bigger, faster, stronger, you're actually tearing everything. And you have to pretty much start from scratch one. So I don't know if that's a good thing for Skedaboo in order to be able to save or whatever the case might be. So.
Yeah.
But I definitely think that the Bears are probably going to win by, I'm hoping, at least 1, maybe 7 touchdowns, somewhere there.
I think I saw the Bears, 6.5 for this game? I think that's a fair bet. I mean, I take the Bears with it.
Oh, yeah.
I think the Bears should win this game, especially being at home. Obviously, conditions are going to dictate a lot of what happens. I'm not buying, though, the touchdown. If I'm a bet man, I'm taking the points with the Giants.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think it's going to be a much closer game.
That weather is awful right now. I literally went outside, walked the dogs, came back in. I had to take my hoodie off, throw it in the wash because it was so heavy from wet. Just from rain, snow mix. It's bad out there right now. But anyway.
Yeah, but think about this though. Now you're both used to inclement weather, so you're not going to necessarily have that as an advantage or disadvantage on the home or away team. So what the Bears just have to do is just establish the run, and it would be nice to be able to throw the ball a little bit. But you establish a run, and they should be okay.
Yeah, I think the big factor for Chicago is going to be the broken play. If Caleb Williams can play. Not within the offense, but not shoot himself in the foot on the broken play. Take what you can get. Don't try to be the hero. Don't try to throw the deep ball or whatnot, whatever. Just play within the confines of what's in front of you. I think you'll be all right. If he starts playing hero ball, I think that's where the Giants actually can take advantage.
Potentially. But similar to Chicago, you also have weather and things like that just a little bit further north in the Green of Bay. Segue.
Green Bay Monday night.
Well, I was going to get to the Lions game real fast, and then I was going to head up to
that's north too. So let's go that way.
Yeah,
that's northeast.
Yeah, so Lions are headed to Washington D.C. general area to play the Washington Commanders And obviously, if you want to talk about injury reports, holy cow, look at these two teams. All right. Yeah. Obviously, I think the biggest injury, I think we can all agree, Jaden Daniels, with speaking of gruesome injury. Actually, it was just reported yesterday that there was no ligament damage and he could possibly return this season. I don't know how.
But why?
Exactly. Well, the big question is, why was he even in the game that late? So
now you guys are in for it.
Oh wait, who? What?
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 Whoa!
Whoa! It's like.
Hello, everybody.
What happened there? Did you
lost a bet? Lost a bet?
I want to say it was the Cowboys' fault, but no, I just did it.
So.
He wanted to be like Jerry Dome and have no curtains on that.
Anyway.
Yeah, that's right.
My God, you are a hideous individual.
I was trying to look like a Unabomber, or take it like Uncle Fester. Like Uncle Fester.
But anyways, I'll just make this quick. Lions won't lose this game. I mean, Washington's just. Yeah, but I mean, we've seen crazy happen, but Mariota's. Yeah, Mariota's just not. He's just the dude, and I mean, to me, I think the Lions. And haven't I said this before? Whenever the Lions lose that next week, they play pissed off football. That's what's going to happen, and.
He's just a dude playing a dude disguised as another dude.
Yeah.
What I was basically going to say is, and I don't know if Sean is actually watching, but it should be a very, very easy victory for whoever plays Washington.
Honestly, honestly, it should. It should be, especially with Jaden Daniels not. I mean, their whole offense is Jaden Daniels. Mariota isn't the quarterback he was in Oregon, and he hasn't been that quarterback since he entered the league. I mean, he's just been
backup.
He and Jameis Winston are basically the same. I mean, either way you picked in that draft, you're picking wrong. So whatever. But yeah, I don't think there's a shot here for Washington. If they win, I'll be the first to say I was wrong. Probably not. Mike will say it first, and then I'll say it. But,
yeah.
Green Bay, Brian. Green Bay. Let's go there.
Yeah. So tomorrow night, man, this is, in my opinion, this is a playoff game. 6-2 Eagles at the 5-2-1 Packers at Lambeau Field. Looking at the injury reports, Cam Jurgens, their center for the Eagles, is out again with that knee injury, which obviously that's a biggie for them. Now going to the Packers side, the two key guys that are going to be out is on the defensive end, which is Nate Hobbs with his knee injury corner. He is out, and Lucas Van Ness on that line is out as well with his foot injury. Otherwise, everybody else looks like questionable, looks like should be playing. This game, and when we talked about this earlier, I don't care what the narrative about this game is. You have to get your head out of your asses and play some goddamn football. I was pissed last week playing down to a Carolina team. While they're up and coming, they are tough. I mean, everybody says you play who's on your schedule. Anything can happen any week. You are a 13.5-point favorite playing in crappy weather at your stadium that you're used to, and you let them walk all over you. This can't happen Monday night. If this does happen Monday night, I'm going to tell you right now, Bears will overtake the Packers. Packers will finish in last place in this division.
No.
Matt LaFleur will be fired. Watch.
I got him.
My bad. I thought that was Stout talking there for a second. Guys falling in Green Bay. I mean, what's going on?
Oh, it is. I mean, like we said, when they're showing polls up in ESPN Milwaukee saying which coach would you rather rank the coaches in the NFC North, and your coach was ranked last. That says something.
Yeah.
The fans are fed up with LaFleur. I think the heat's on. In our text there, it's like, who's on the hot seat? Guess what? Guess who just made the list? Matt LaFleur.
It's okay,
Calm down,
Bonkers.
Chris
I'm
Jericho.
telling you.
It's just the Green Bay Packers.
So you got the Super Bowl champion coming to Green Bay. No, you guys are going. I gotta think. Where's the game at Monday night?
It's in Lambeau. It's in Lambeau.
Okay, yeah. So you got the Super Bowl champions coming to Lambeau. If they lose, LaFleur is definitely on his way out. I mean, they're not playing right now.
I think the season gets derailed if they lose this game. I seriously think. Look at looking at the remaining. I mean, you still got to play the Bears twice. You've got to play. I think you got to play the Vikings twice. And you've already played Detroit once. So granted, that was game 1 of the season. This is going to be a different Lions team, and you got to go to their place to play. We've played one division game. How did we do last year in the division? If it wasn't for a fingertip on a football, we wouldn't have won a division game last year.
Wow. I mean, hey.
That's what I'm saying, guys. You see what I'm saying about Nunuk of the North? It literally, it's just you take the D on his head and you put a little cheese wedge on there. It's the same thing.
Brian's up there looking for glory holes.
Listen, this game. Let's get back to the game. Seriously, with this game, the mistakes have to stop. Like Jordan Love, stop throwing the ball to the other team, please, for the love of God. Josh Jacobs, it's time. Run the damn ball like you did last year. O-line, you've been okay this year, but get better. Guess what, Christian Watson? You're the number 1 guy now. Show it. If these guys don't, I mean, Tucker Kraft blowing his ACL last week, I mean, that was your leading receiver on the team. Now we're going to go with Musgrave, and we gave him the opportunity before drafting Tucker Kraft, and he was crap. So it's like, okay, who's gonna ball out this week? Defensively, I think Mike is gonna put that pressure on, but this is gonna be the key. I always say this with the Philadelphia Eagles team: you have to make their quarterback play quarterback. Do not let him loose and run. Every time the Packers play a mobile quarterback, they get burnt. They have to stay contained and contain Hurts to not run the ball. Do not put them in situations where it's 3rd and short. Make him play quarterback. The weather is not going to be great up there either. I believe they're saying like low 30s or even in the high 20s at game time with snow.
Hey,
it's time to show up. You lose this game, I don't care what anybody says. I'm telling you right now, the season's derailed if they lose this game.
And Brian's buying Bears.
And you talk about that. And you talk about that tie. That tie's going to come back to haunt them.
Yeah, that's why I brought it up. Really, I mean, you went from the
What tie?
number. You went from number 1 to number 4 with 1 loss. You can go from number 4 to number 9 with another.
Yeah, out of the playoffs right now. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying.
It is what it is. So who you got?
Oh, Jesus. I mean, if the Packers pulled this off, I think this is one of those close, possibly a field goal type of deal. I don't see the Packers coming out and showing up and balling out, and unless they do exactly what they did early in the season, where they just put the pedal to the metal and they didn't stop, and so that means score quick or score first, build the lead. Make Jalen Hurts play quarterback. Your defense is supposed to be touted. Act like it. Jordan Love, stop throwing the ball to the other team. Time to make smart choices. It's that simple. But again, this is Philadelphia. They're 6-2. They claim they have problems, but all they do is they just keep winning ball games, guys. So
Quick question.
Everyone's chomping at the bit here, Brian.
Go for it. I'm
Did
fired.
Did you just blaspheme and say cheeses?
Anyway,
Can we kick him off the show?
I'm the only smart, good-looking one here. No, but here's an actual question for you. Here's an actual question for you. So, with the Philadelphia offense, do you actually have the defensive firepower to be able to stop anything? And granted, Saquon Barkley's had an off year, and it might be because of the Philadelphia offensive line, but do you really see that a Green Bay defense being able to stop Saquon and the offense?
I think, look. I mean, obviously, you've got to worry about what Jalen Hurts is going to do, right? So obviously, Micah's going to have to put, Micah pressuring him, but Micah's going to have to also understand, hey, we also have to prepare for the run. And as Stout has said, and honestly, I have seen it, run the ball at him. He ain't going to do shit. Excuse my language.
That ship has sailed.
Which actually brings it down. Which brings up another question. Which brings up another question, because Micah Parsons is, of course, he's so used to actually playing against Philadelphia and vice versa. Do you really see him being any sort of a factor?
I don't know. I don't know. This is a game that like I said, I didn't even want to pick him in my pick six. Let me put it this way. To stop the run, to stop Saquon Barkley, your two middle defender guys have to have the game of their lives. And they showed up early in the year, but lately they have let people run on them. I mean, last week, Carolina's running back ran all over him. And if they let this happen, it's going to be a long day at the office for the Packers. They have to stop Saquon Barkley somehow. I mean, even if you just hold him to 60 yards rushing, I'll be happy with 60 yards you stop him for. Yeah. The question is, Jalen Hurts, keep him in check. If those receivers get open, and we're missing one of our stud corners, those receivers get open and say, it only has to be a 10-yard slant pass. If they're open, it's going to be a long day. This team just doesn't seem to grasp the fact that, hey, we have to watch in every aspect on a team that's got a sophisticated offense. Philly has a sophisticated offense because they could kill you with Saquon Barkley. They could kill you with Jalen Hurts running the ball, or if you force Jalen Hurts to play quarterback, but you leave the receivers open because you're too worried about Saquon Barkley, he's going to pick you apart there too. This isn't an easy game for this defense, and this defense has honestly failed ever since after the Browns game. When they got beat by the Browns, seems like ever since then, this defense has failed in a lot of aspects of the game.
To be fair, losing the Browns is demoralizing. So there's that.
And the Packers really been failing since, 1922, 23?
Mike, you've been quiet this whole show.
Yeah, so I got
go ahead, say something.
Couple things. One, is that what I sound like every week? Just wondering if that's what I sound like.
Usually.
Two, I don't know if you guys discussed it about the trade that I know we had talked about the Parsons trade a while back, but the new thing that came out that basically if Green Bay trades trades Micah to Philly, Green Bay will owe him a 2028 draft pick.
Yeah, it's called the poison pill. Yeah.
Poison pill. So that came out this morning late last night. I didn't know if you guys saw that with them playing each other, but the lastly thing he was talking about, Watson, that he has to be a number one. Well, according to his dad, there is no number ones at Green Bay. So, I mean, I don't know what he's talking about.
Yeah, Christian Watson, that dude. Yeah,
whatever.
Yeah. He did make it through the game healthy, so there's that.
23-20. That's what I'm picking.
24-20.
I said 23-20.
Oh, 23-20.
I'm gonna say 20-20 just so I can see both teams tie.
Oh,
that would be hilarious. But anyway, all right.
I will admit, Stout, you literally look like a baseball coach these days. Go team! Go team!
Oh, jeez.
Maximum effort.
Do you get to hand out the treat tickets after the game?
No, we don't do that stuff. I'm literally, I'm literally just left. What we have 6 hours of baseball academics with some
Yeah.
breaks, but we're basically one of the White Sox team coaches is here, so we have the boys have to do it 3 times a year, and with me coaching, I have to go to it. And I was like, I got to take care of some. I'll be back. So
No, you're good,
that's
man.
what I left.
appreciate you. Appreciate you
So.
stopping in.
Not like I got anything to talk about.
Yeah,
The
we already
White
covered all your
Sox team
stuff,
coach?
'cause-
Didn't they score like 7 runs last year?
Dallas loses by 42 to the
Yeah,
bye
they
week
did.
this week. So
You
and
lost
I wanted to
you
come on
lost-
and show you my new fresh face. You know, I already scared Brian, and I told him to keep it hush hush so I could see you two what it would look like on. You know, so. I'm having fun at work, walking around. Nobody knows who I am. I got sleeves on, my hat's forward. Until I talk, knows who I am. So it's pretty interesting.
Right on. Let's head to one of the 2 games that matter left on the schedule, since you guys monopolized the entire show.
We're trying.
The entire 45 minutes so far has been about the NFC North. We've touched
Big
on a little
six right
bit
now.
of the East. We touched on a little bit of the West. Let's go south. Right now, we have the Falcons playing the Colts. Colts are favored by 6.5 points. They're leading the game right now, 13-7. So if you have the points on here, you're kind of happy. But anyway, Colts should run away with this game. I'm not really sold on the Falcons. They can't seem to find their identity, but who knows? Colts might be falling back to the mean. Daniel Jones might have had one of those games where it's just like, hey, wait, I am Daniel Jones. I guess I'm going to start playing like it. But anyway.
I think there's going to be a new line. I'm Daniel Jones. Like, I'm Spartacus.
Next up, you have Saints Panthers in Carolina. Both teams are pretty much healthy. Two key injuries to look for today is Ted McMillan is questionable with a hamstring injury, and Alvin Kamara being questionable for the Saints with an ankle injury. Like Brian was saying, the Panthers are a good up-and-coming team. They should handle business at home against the Saints. But I got to be honest, being a Bucs fan, we don't get to say this very often, but I'm going to say it today. Go Saints. Need a Saints victory here. Be nice to keep the rest of the pack away from us. Just keep them all down there.
I know what I'm clipping for the next video.
Yeah.
But for real, I mean, the Bucs pretty much, if the Saints can pull a win here, Bucs should walk away with the division, even if this next three-game stretch they're facing. One of the toughest 3-game stretches in the NFL this season. You're coming out the bye week facing the Patriots. Got the Bills on there. I mean, I just drew a blank. Lost the schedule in my head. Anyway, next Rams. Next 3 games are going to be tough. Then you get back playing inside the division. Today's game, however, is not going to be a cakewalk. You got the Brady Bowl. You got Bucs, Patriots in New England or in Tampa. New England has 3 key injuries. Booty's out with a hammy. Ellis is out with a hip injury, and their running back Stevenson is out with a toe. Bucs aren't healthy, though, by any means. You got Godwin, who's still out with a fibula. Bucky Irving, who I have my own theories on, is out again with the shoulder injury. And outside linebacker, Hassan Reddick is out with the leg injury, but he hasn't done anything all year, so whatever, get healthy. The key to this game is the possibility of Luke Gedeke coming back today. If Gedeke can come back and anchor the right side of that line, Bucs could be in business. Going to have to control the clock again. This is one of those games. You got to run the ball. The Bucs cannot win. Most teams cannot win if they don't run the ball at some point. You can't abandon the run early. You've got to get out and score, and you got to force New England to try to keep up with you. New England's run defense is one of the best in the league. Gonzalez is back this week, playing corner at an outstandingly high level. He's going to be pretty much facing Emeka Egbuka, the Bucs rookie sensation, who's really fallen off these last few weeks due to a hamstring injury. Hoping the bye week did him some good and he's healthy. On the other side of the ball, you got Tez Johnson going against a familiar foe in Carlton Davis. Davis is one of those players that can have a big game here because he knows the offensive tendencies. He knows, he's not a dumb corner. He's an aggressive corner, likes to be physical at the line of scrimmage. Tez Johnson is 5'5", 150 pounds coming out of the shower. I mean, he's got to be soaking wet to hit that. So that's a matchup that's going to be interesting to watch because if Tez Johnson can get open over the middle, stay down though. Don't be trying to make extra play or extra yardage. Just take what's given to you. I think the Bucs have a chance to win this game. I don't see it being a blowout. I don't see this game being very, very high scoring. I think we're looking at two teams that are going to feel each other out early. I'm thinking maybe – what's that? What's the name? Gross? Yeah, I knew it was coming. Say it again? No. All right. Feel it out early.
Gross.
And then open the offense up. You're going to see a lot of Drake May trying to work the passing game. I don't think either of these teams are going to be very successful running the ball. I think you're going to see maybe 60 to 85 yards on either side running the ball from straight run plays. Baker Mayfield being healthy again, you might see him running on broken plays like he was earlier in the season, which opens up the passing game because more teams are looking to spy on Baker and keep him in the pocket. But
just real quick update. Falcons up 14-13.
Nobody likes you.
Minute 26 left.
Nice.
And the first half.
Right on.
So in this game, obviously New England's a North team coming down to Florida. Obviously, I think last I checked, it was supposed to be like 85 down there in Tampa today.
Yeah, 14 inches of sunshine.
Yeah. Obviously, that could also play a key in this game. Oh, and I lost my camera feed for some reason. But anyways, you can still hear me. And I got of course, the Dallas logo. Are you kidding me? Oh, God.
On so many levels.
Do I think that the weather could be a factor? Is that your question? The heat?
Well, that, and then I was just going to ask, what concerns you with the Patriots? Obviously, the Patriots are off to the 7-2 start. Drake May's playing terrific football. I mean, he's playing concerns you?
Free football, and that's what concerns me. Is the Bucs have to win the turnover battle this game? They have to get pressure on Drake May, who is the second most, I believe, sacked quarterback in the NFL right now. So the opportunity is going to be there. You've got to get him to the ground, force him to get them happy feet and throw the ball. The Bucs have to be opportunistic like they were against the Saints. Turnovers are going to be key, I think, and that's how you win this game. It's two teams that protect the ball very well. So, yeah. That answer your question?
Yeah, it does. It does. It's just, like I said, I just think the Patriots have been honestly playing well. And I think here's the thing. I see them putting up a fight, but I think between the weather and it's just Baker Mayfield, man. Baker Mayfield he's just balled out all year. And I think as much of an important game this is honestly for both teams. I just think Tampa, just because being at home, Baker's trying to prove that this team's for real. I honestly think you guys should win this game. I think you guys should win this game pretty comfortably.
Yeah, I don't think, like I said, I don't think it's going to be comfortably. I think whoever wins this turnover bet margin is going to win this game. If the Bucs can force May to play a little looser with the football, I think they have an opportunity to win. I don't see anyone really going to try to run against the Bucs. It's going to be in the passing game. The Bucs have to take the ball away, and that's how I see the game won. If Antoine Winfield Jr., Tyke Smith, if they have games like they did last week, we shouldn't have an issue.
Right on.
Anyway, Mike, you got your pick six ready?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. All right. I honestly, I gotta admit, I've been slacking on pick six. I haven't been really able to get to it to keep up who won last week, who didn't win last week. Plus, we didn't have a show last week, so guess we're starting fresh. Since Andy doesn't get to do this very often, Andy, who you got?
I've got teams that will win and or lose. I don't know. I had my picks right here, but then all of a sudden I clicked back and there you go. Okay,
All
so we're
right.
going to go number 6 is Detroit Lions. Number 5, we're going to put down the Buffalo Bills. 4, we got the Seattle Supersonics and or Seahawks. 3, we got I'm going to go with San Francisco. The 40-eaters. I'm going to go ahead and go with Tampa Bay, although I'm kind of iffy about Tampa Bay because I don't necessarily see that game being as as one-sided as you guys think it might be. But then, of course, I got the Chicago Bears because of the weather, because of injuries. I think I'm going to go with them as my number 1 pick.
All right. Stout. Do your homework?
No. Colt, this is how it's done, Andy. You do it real quick. Colts at 6, Chargers at 5, Bills at 4, Seattle at 3, Lions at 2, and the Browns at 1. I should have put the Browns at 2. That would have been better.
Good for you. Good go. He's doing.
Brian.
What a move.
Yes. Okay.
Who you got?
Once again, we'll go. What we're going to do quick: 6 Chargers, 5 Lions, 4 Seahawks, 3 Bills, 2 Ravens, 1 Packers.
All right. Mine's almost identical to yours, except I switched out. No, I'm just joking. I got Lions at 6. I can't read my handwriting. Lions at 6, Seahawks at 5, Bills at 4, Bears at 3, Chargers at 2, Bucs at 1. You got any best bets for us today, Brian?
Sure.
Packers.
Yes, I do.
All right.
I'm going with a touchdown parlay today because I feel pretty good about it. So play Josh Allen or Dalton Kincaid for an anytime touchdown, St. Brown or Sam Laporta for an anytime touchdown, Kyron Williams for an anytime touchdown, and Ladd McConkey or Oronde Gadsden for an anytime touchdown. That'll pay you out plus 428. And if you decide to bet my pick 6, that's at plus 706.
Nice. Do we have any closing thoughts, gentlemen?
Oh yeah. Oh
yeah. I got the Colts. Daniel Jones back at it again, marching down the field, throws an interception right before halftime.
Wow, that's not good. All right. I'd like to thank our wives and families for allowing us to come on here and be idiots 1 hour every weekend. And until next week, we'll see ya.
Fresh look, still the same old Cowboys lose the bye week. The sky has fallen. It'll be falling forever until Montgomery Burns is gone, aka Jerry Jones.